This is Beth with Farm Fresh Vintage Finds, and I am removing some thermofoil today with my heat gun right here. This is what it looks like when you take it off. So thermofoil is a plastic covering that covers MDF cabinetry, which is, this is what it looks like when it's taken off. MDF is medium density fiberboard. For instance, if your cabinet's right above your stove or microwave look kind of bubbled, you probably have thermofoil cabinets, and I'm going to show you how to get it off so that you can paint them. I am using a HomeRite digital temperature heat gun, and I've put my link in my description box, and I've also put a link to a blog post where I talk a little bit more detail about how to take off thermofoil. Okay, so I'm going to turn the heat gun on. So turning it on, and it's going to start at, I think it starts at about 160 degrees. So you're going to push the plus sign, and I get it up to 500 degrees. And then I'm going to go over here to the cabinet, and the thermofoil is just on the front. So I'm going to start on this top. So you can see it's starting, I hope you can see that. It's starting to peel up as I'm heating it up. And just kind of move it back and forth so you don't catch it on fire, because that would be bad. And you just see here, it comes off pretty easily. It takes, 5 minutes or so for a drawer. Doors are going to take a little bit more time because there's obviously more surface area. But this is a great way to save money and not have to rip out your whole kitchen and redo brand new cabinets. You can just get this yucky stuff off and then paint what's underneath, which, like I said before, is MDF. So see how it's just starting to peel off? I'm just going to heat it up underneath here. I've learned that heating it helps because that also heats the glue that is keeping it bonded to the surface, and that way there's that much less to get off as far as the glue that holds it when you're done. Alright, so as you can see, it just comes off pretty easy. It is time consuming. I mean, when you're doing an entire kitchen, this is going to take you a little while, but it is so worth it. This is what we just took off. Looks great. I hate throwing things away, but I really can't think of anything to do with this. Now we have this drawer, and we need to, I always clean everything before I sand, especially when I'm doing cabinets, because if you don't, then you are just sanding grease into your surface. With this, obviously, there's not going to be any grease on it, but I'm trying to give you examples of any situation. So, I'm going to clean it off, and I'm just using a regular, I'm not going to name the brand because it really doesn't matter, just a all-purpose cleaner. Alright, so we've cleaned this surface, and now I'm just, with the 220 grit paper, I'm going to lightly sand over it, very lightly, and then right here there's a little bit of glue, so I'm going to take that off. Right here there's a little bit, just smoothing it out. But as you can see, I'm doing this really lightly because MDF is, I guess it's a composite material. It's all mushed together, glued together. You don't want to sand it too heavily because it will start to disintegrate. Just trust me on that one. Alright, so just knocking off any little particles of glue, roughing it up. Alright, then we can take the same rag that we used before, spray it with some cleaner, and wipe it off. Today I'm going to be using a chalk and clay paint, which is the paint that I sell in my shop and online. It's made by Debbie's Design Diary. It's DIY paint. This color is Old School. It's a chalk and clay base, 9 ingredients, safe for the environment, all that good stuff. Anyway, I love this paint because it bonds to everything. When I say everything, I mean everything. Glass, metal, MDF, wood, everything you can think of, I have painted this with. It is a flat finish because it's a chalky paint, again with the clay in it. For this purpose, obviously, these are bathroom cabinets, so I will be sealing them. Another great product is a Zibra Brush. These are also available at my store, in-store and online. This has a really soft bristle. I have used natural bristles also, but these Zibra brushes are fantastic. Okay, so we're going to dip our brush in, just get a little bit of paint, and start painting. This is going to take probably, I'll do 3 coats on it because it's a bathroom and I want it to be really well coated. And then I'll do 2 coats of sealer. So just get a good, this is a really thick paint. Just get a good coat on there. So let me just make sure this looks right because this is actually for a client and I'll get talking and not pay attention to my job. So you can't tell, but this is already starting to dry a little bit because there's a vent right above me. Let's see. It's a beautifully painted surface. This short amount of time, we've taken the thermofoil off, we've cleaned, sanded, cleaned again, and painted. We'll do this. I'll do 2 more coats, and then I will put my top coat on. Because I'm using a chalk and clay based paint, I am not priming because this is self-priming. There are many different opinions on that. A lot of people say, oh, you have to prime, you have to prime. I have been painting cabinets for friends and family for about 20 years and professionally for the last 6 years. And in my every experience that I've had so far, it's been good to just use the chalk and clay paint, or you can prime if you're going to use a different kind of paint. Let's see what else I want to tell you. So we talked about the heat gun. Then I'm using the DIY chalk and clay paint in Old School. You're going to clean your surface with just an all-purpose cleaner. You're going to sand with a 220 grit paper, nothing any coarser than that because it will start to disintegrate the MDF. Then you're going to clean again, and then you can start painting. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. If you want to visit my website, it is farmfreshvintagefinds.com. Guys, bye-bye.